what is the difference between the cloud and a home computer? So when you think of a home computer in a professional standpoint, think of on-prem. Think about a computer that you have full access to from the physical perspective all up into the applications running on that piece of hardware. Your home computer is going to be something that you can touch, that you can see, that you can listen to, like, right? That's going to be completely under your care and your responsibility. That means the networking for that computer, so making sure your Wi-Fi is working, right? Making sure, and it can be Wi-Fi or even if you use Ethernet cables to have a hardwired connection. That could be making sure the operating system is up to date, right? Patching and making sure that the latest version is being installed at all times. That could be physical security, making sure that no one has access to the computer. No one can just walk in and walk out with the things that belong to you. Uh, that physical security is something that a home computer or on-prem computer is going to be at the responsibility of the owner. Versus when you go into the cloud, you are delegating a lot of that physical responsibility to that cloud service provider, to that vendor. They're going to be responsible for the physical security. They're going to be responsible for the power and making sure that those computers are kept running, right, with either batteries or actual, being plugged in at all times. They're going to be responsible for making sure the operating system is always up to date and always having those patching. That gives you less responsibility and less operational complexity in your day to day. You don't have to deal with all of those pieces. And you can rely on a company that has nearly perfected the responsibilities, right? They know exactly how to manage access control in a physical environment. They know exactly how to uh, migrate or up and bump the version of an operating system without causing any or significant outages inside of the applications running on those systems and running on that hardware. They know how to implement redundant networking and redundant power supply, right? You don't have to do that yourself. You can rely on their expertise and their teams to do that for yourself. So all you have to worry about is, how do I run my application on this computer that they have provisioned and made available to me? And that benefit allows you to focus more on the value that you're thinking about an enterprise or a business, the value that your team can provide to your user that only you can provide. You don't have to worry about those extra things, those extra steps, uh, because they're handled for you by someone else, by that third party. Another benefit of the cloud is that you no longer have to come up with the upfront capital requirements. Back in the 1990s, that sounded like it was mad long ago, but back in the 90s or the 80s, if you wanted to run a system that relied on computers, you had to buy and spend maybe thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars in order to hire people, in order to buy the computers, buy the servers, buy the networking racks, buy all of this equipment. Now you can get started with like $100 a month to rent the same amount of computer power, the same amount of networking power, and get started in a day. Get started immediately without having to go through all of that upfront capex. So that's been why a lot of these companies have been able to grow and start making, sig- I would say more progress and be able to innovate without having a lot of capital up front. You can really rely on their infrastructure and just build and focus on building.